Canada is going to be the biggest beneficiary in the world from climate change. I'm 100% and only invested in farmland. That translates to half of Saskatchewan, arable land.
What are some of the opportunities for the producers that will arise from the current situation?
Okay, if you look at opportunities, like there's a lot of problems, of course, with the tariffs and global trade and so on. Global trade is decoupling, but economically, it's still tied together with nothing unraveling there yet. So the opportunities are like when you look at President Trump's tariffs and everything else, Prime Minister Carney is doing, I think, a damn good job at finding new markets. But those won't be realized for years down the road. It takes a long time. You need different infrastructure. You need different shipping routes. There are deep sea ports. You need all kinds of different things to completely change the trade routes. And that has to happen to some degree, but it's good that we won't be dependent on any one buyer like U.S. or China or whatever. Right now currently he is developing new trading partners and new markets for us, which is, I don't care, like I'm not really that political. If somebody's doing a good job, I don't care whether they're white, red, pink, or whatever color. The party is. If he does a good job, I'll give him credit. If he does a shitty job, I'll tell him so. Crap. Yeah. Anyway,
that's fine.
The future, I think, is great. Mainly because, again, you have a deteriorating product being arable land. And like in my past comments, we're losing 10 to 12 million hectares per year. So somebody has to make up that production.
That's visceral. Yeah, that's a crazy number. Sure puts things in perspective.
Well, when you look at the other number, 12 million hectares, 30 million acres, that translates to half of Saskatchewan, arable land.
Wow.
Not arable, farmable land.
That's
There's
crazy.
a difference. Yeah.
That's a big deal. And, obviously, some regions become more productive over time with weather and some not so much.
Well, that's another thing, especially that I try to tell lenders or get my point to the lenders, is Canada is going to be the biggest beneficiary in the world from climate change. And University of Stanford professor just did a recent study 2 years ago, and he came to the same conclusion I came when I did my original study before I got into farmland, about 18 years ago, where he says that Canada is going to be, he came to the same conclusion. Canada is going to be the biggest beneficiary in the world. Most of the world, most of our competitors are going to be very severely affected as far as yields are concerned. So the future is great for agriculture, but we have to get through this soft patch.
Well, if you want to know what Robert thinks about the cycle of weather in southwestern Saskatchewan, put it in the chat, because we were talking about that the other day. Robert, we want to get to some of these other sponsors' questions, and there's a bunch of questions in the chat. Ryan's got his hand up, and he's about to lay it down. Ryan, why don't you come on the show and let it buck?
Yeah, good. No, thanks so far for everything, Robert and Dan. So my background is I am a CPA and an ag advisor. And so obviously there's been a lot of, interesting points today. I think, what everybody on this call can agree is that as whether it be a farmer or any kind of a business owner, our main purpose is to grow the value of our companies. Or if we are in situations like Robert says might be coming up, we might be looking at ways to preserve the values of our company. And in point 7 of Robert's 12-point plan, he, talks about how traditionally we've run to to gold, silver, land, or whatever other alternatives that may be, beneficial to our business owners. So my question for Robert, besides gold, silver, land, have you explored or have you yourself been involved in other alternative asset purchases or investments, such as say a life insurance strategy, or what other options are there out there that maybe you've see value in?
Well, I'm 100% and only investor in farmland. Although I say gold, silver may be secondary, or something that I'd go into if I didn't have farmland, but I don't have no gold, no silver, nothing else. No investment in the stock market, into the derivatives, into the bonds, or not anything else. Your question about that alternative capital base potential through life insurance, or I didn't quite understand what you were saying, but because I don't know that field. Maybe you can explain it better what it is.
Yeah, well, I guess we want to a lot of the strategies are diverse. Like you've not done a lot of diversifying, as you just sort of said. So if you were looking at some alternatives to sort of help to grow your business or preserve your business, estate planning, succession planning, as sort of part of the overall plan as a business owner or as a farm operation, I was curious as to what other alternatives that you saw value in.
Well, we do have a succession planning that's definitely embedded into our system.